Reuters and other media have uncovered several cases involving hackers taking advantage of vulnerabilities within the international system for money transfers to siphon at least $93 million from banks in South America and Asia. The attacks all combine modern tactics of hacking into computers with malware and old-fashioned money laundering skills. The most dramatic example is in Bangladesh. On February 4, 2016, $81 million of Bangladesh Bank's money was moved from the New York Federal Reserve to a bank in the Philippines. That's a lot of money, but things could have been worse. They tried to transfer nearly $1 billion. What do you need for a heist like this? You need some way to get into the bank's system. You need a way to gain access to the SWIFT money transfer network. You need some malware to cover your tracks. And then you need a bank account, preferably in a lightly regulated country, to receive the money. Investigators have not said how the hackers got into the computers that Bangladesh Bank uses to access the SWIFT system, but some sources say it was probably by sending an infected email to one of the staff. Once in, they would have studied the bank's system and installed their malware. The main purpose of the malware was to cover their tracks as they committed the crime. When the staff are off work, it's showtime for the hackers. They log on to the SWIFT messaging system and start sending requests to withdraw funds. Most are rejected, but some go through. All these successful transfers go from the New York Federal Reserve and its correspondent banks to bank accounts in Sri Lanka and the Philippines. One alert staffer at Deutsche Bank spots a typo in the name of the intended Sri Lankan recipient and queries the transaction. The New York Fed also sends multiple queries to Bangladesh Bank, but gets no response. Altogether, 4 requests, totaling $81 million, are already on their way. After the requests are sent, the malware goes to work, buying time for the money to be collected and laundered. It checks the SWIFT messaging system and deletes any incoming messages that might alert bank officials about their fraudulent transfers. It also deletes any confirmation messages before they're sent to the office printer. It's a Friday, a weekend day in Muslim Bangladesh, and when the skeleton staff come in, all they see is an empty printer tray and an apparently broken printer. That is not that unusual. The boss tells someone to fix it and heads off for midday prayers. Meanwhile, the money has landed in 4 fake accounts in a small Manila branch of a Philippine bank called RCBC. Some of the money is transferred to another fake account in the same branch. That afternoon, one of the branch employees summons an armored car from head office which dumps 20 million pesos. Some of the staff count the money and pack it in a paper bag. It's loaded into a car and driven off. Over the weekend, Bangladesh Bank officials wake to the scale of the problem. The malware appears to have disabled the SWIFT messaging system. They print out the SWIFT messages manually and try to contact the New York Fed via phone, email and fax. There's no response from the New York Fed office that is typically not staffed on weekends. SWIFT remotely fixed the messaging system. It's now Monday in Bangladesh and officials realize where the money has gone and send SWIFT messages to RCBC asking them to stop the transfers. But it's a public holiday in the Philippines and those messages don't get read until Tuesday morning. And, crucially, they're sent as ordinary messages, not cancel requests, so they join a pile of hundreds of routine messages in the bank's headquarters. Eventually they're passed on to the branch, but officials in the branch ignore them and transfer the money to other accounts, with much of it ending up in Philippine casinos. Investigations are now going on around the globe, but no one has been arrested or charged. And other cases have now come to light in Ecuador, Vietnam, the Philippines and other countries. Not all were successful and all are dwarfed by the Bangladesh heist. More cases are expected to come to light. But the hackers, whoever they are, remain hidden.